everyone. Welcome to this month's Pop-Up Nature. There's a fungus among us. My name is Brooke and I'm one of the naturalists at Ware Nature Center. So as you can guess by the name of this program, there's a fungus among us. We're going to be talking about fungi this month. Or you may know them as mushrooms. And we have two parts to our program today. We have part one, which includes our wonderful book that we have here, The Mushroom Fan Club by Elise Gravel. And then we also have a part two to the program, which includes us going over the scavenger hunt that our families will receive, as well as how to make your own spore print at home, and a little bit of the natural history about fungi. So to get started, we are going to read our story, The Mushroom Fan Club. Again, this is a great book. Love it. Love all the illustrations. You know what I love? Walking in the woods and looking for mushrooms with my kids. It's like a treasure hunt that nature organized just for us. I'm obsessed with bizarre creatures, and mushrooms are certainly strange. They look like aliens from outer space. Mushrooms are not plants or animals. They're in a kingdom of their own, the realm of fungi. Many mushrooms look like the one I've drawn here, but not all of them. They come in many shapes, sizes, and colors. Their smells differ wildly, too. Some stink horribly, and others have a delicious perfume. There are even some next to my cottage that smell like maple syrup. And here we have the parts of a fungi. So when we see a mushroom above ground, it's what we call the fruiting body. Can you say that with me? The fruiting body. Very good, everyone. Most likely you're going to see the cap. And if you're really lucky, we're going to show you how to make a spore print at the end, and we'll see if your mushroom actually makes spores for you. The spores are these little speckly things, and they are like the seeds of the mushroom, and they make new mushrooms. This mushroom happens to have a little ring around it. This is the stalk. This part right here is called the vulva, and this is where the mushroom or the fruiting body emerges from. And it's got this mycelium that goes underground into the soil. And the mycelium kind of acts like roots for the mushroom. But remember, mushrooms are fungi, they are not plants. When you try to identify a mushroom, you have to look under its cap. You'll find clues under there. Some have gills that are paper-thin blades. There are thousands of different mushrooms like this, including the kinds found at the grocery stores. Others have little needles, and some have tiny holes like a sponge. It's through these various types of underbellies that they produce and release spores. Can you see that with me? We're going to count 1, 2, 3, and you're going to all say the word spores. 1, 2, 3, spores! Very good, everyone! Which are a bit like seeds. This is how mushrooms make new mushrooms, or we call that reproducing. So here is a mushroom with spines, a mushroom with gills, and a mushroom with pores. Some mushrooms grow in the grass, others in dead leaves or on rotten wood or even on living trees. Some are so tiny we don't even see them, and others are as big as a baseball field. I don't know them all. There are too many. There are millions of fungus species around the world. Some people know a lot about mushrooms than I do, or a lot more about mushrooms than I do. They are are called mycologists. That's a fancy name, isn't it? So we're going to count again, 1, 2, 3, and you're all going to say mycologist. Can you say that with me? 1, 2, 3, mycologist. Very good, everyone. I am no expert. I'm an amateur. I just love looking at mushrooms. The proof that I am no expert, I draw them with eyes. And it says, yeah, we don't have mouths either, and we can't speak. But I'm not the only one who likes finding mushrooms. Many animals and bugs like them too. When you walk into the woods, you may encounter some of these wild mycologists. So if you look really close, you might see a beetle or a slug. I love this slug, he's so cute. And look right here, what do you think that is? Ooh, it's a bear! And here we have a deer. How cool is that? And right up here is a little blue jay. Would you like to come for a walk with us? I'll introduce you to some of my mushroom buddies, but first I would like to tell you these following rules. There's 2 of them. Number 1, protect their environment. That's very, very important. Mushrooms are often friends with plants in the forest, helping them and many animals to survive. So be gentle and don't litter. And try not to pick too many mushrooms. Leave some for the slugs and the squirrels. And you know you can always draw a picture of the mushrooms when you find them, or even take a photo. Number 2, don't eat them. That's very important as well. Many mushrooms are poisonous. Only grown-up mycologists know for certain which ones are safe to eat. It says, we can make you very sick, or even worse. So here is our first mushroom that we're going to look at. These are called boletes. Can you say boletes with me? Boletes. That's very good, everyone. If you find a mushroom with sponge-like holes under its cap, it might be a bolete. There are many species of boletes, and some are delicious. You can find boletes or dried boletes in grocery stores. Some boletes turn blue when we touch them. It's very, very pretty. Others have a slimy cap, like a slug, and some have spots that look like a dragon's scales. Bugs like boletes a lot, so these mushrooms are often home to hundreds of tiny little worms. Oh, this one's a fun one. Look at the name! The chanterelle. Isn't that a fun name? The chanterelle is one of the first mushrooms I learned to identify. They're very pretty, bright orange, and often grow with a bunch of friends. They're easy to recognize because their caps look like a trumpet. Instead of gills, they have little folds like an old person's wrinkles. Some mushrooms look like chanterelles, but are very toxic. They are called jack-o'-lantern mushrooms. It's a pretty name, don't you think? The main difference between them is jack-o'-lantern mushrooms have real gills instead of wrinkles. And it kind of does look like a trumpet. And here's one of our more famous mushrooms, the morel. Ah, morels. They are so cute. They look like an alien's brain. I love morels, and when I find them, I jump all over the place and squeal. It's silly, but I can't help myself. It's because I don't find them often. Morels like to grow where the leaves were. There have been forest fires. They love the ashes. They're hard to see because they look a lot like dead leaves they grow on, or like pine cones. They are hide and seek champions. Ooh, here's a cool one. My daughter's favorite mushrooms are polypores. These hard mushrooms often grow on tree trunks or roots, and can get pretty big. My oldest daughter collects them. Once we found one as big as a plate. These mushrooms are cool because you can find them even in the winter. Ooh, look at this guy. Here's a false morel. Here is another guy that looks like a brain. Its Latin name, you may know it as its science name, is Gyometria. Can you all say that with me? That's a hard word to say. Gyometria. That's a fun word. Since it looks a bit like a morel, it's sometimes called a false morel. When you touch it, it feels like cold rubber and it's hollow inside. And if I were a bug, I'd love to make my house, have my house inside a Gyometria. Here is a cool one. It's called the Lactarius indigo. Do you know this word indigo? Have any of you heard that word before? I have. It's another name for the word, or another name for the color blue. And we're going to see where that comes into play here. Some mushrooms produce a liquid that looks like milk when you cut them. We call these Lactarius mushrooms. The Lactarius indigo is special because the milk it produces is bright blue. There's that blue. That's why it's called an indigo. I've never found any, but I keep looking. I think they're quite rare. If you see one, you're lucky. I'll be jealous and insist you take me mushroom hunting with you next time. Ooh, here is a cool one. The puffball. The puffball is an interesting specimen. When it's young, it's all white and smooth, like an egg or a golf ball. Then as it grows up, it turns yellow or brown or gray, and then something funny happens. If you step on it, poof! It bursts into a cloud of smoke like a cartoon fart. That's pretty funny, isn't it? It's their way of freeing their spores. Elegant, isn't it? Some of them are huge, like basketballs. We call them giant puffballs. I'm taking a little break from sharing facts to draw my daughter stepping on puffballs. It's too fun. I know I said not to destroy mushrooms, but no need to worry about puffballs. They like it when you step on them. It makes their spores go everywhere, which helps them to reproduce or make more mushrooms. Here is a really cool and funky looking mushroom. This is called the coral mushroom. I really like this one. It looks something that would grow at the bottom of the sea. That's why they're called coral mushrooms. Some are gray or white or pink, but this one is my favorite. I've seen very big ones. Instead of a cap, it has many fingers that point to the sky. They're very fragile. Be gentle with them. This one might be kind of familiar to you. Look at him, red and speckly. We'll talk about that at the end of the story. The fly agaric is a very pretty mushroom. I find them all the time. Their caps are red and yellow depending on where in the world you find them. Illustrators like me love to draw them in picture books. They're so handsome. We call it the fly agaric because a long time ago, people would crush them into milk to repel flies. They're very pretty, but don't eat them. They're toxic. One is an interesting one. The dog stinkhorn. These guys are the king of the stinkers. They smell like dog poop. Their smell is strong that sometimes you smell them even before you see them. They stink like this to attract flies who help them to disperse their spores. I've seen some in a park near my house, and believe me, you don't want to eat them. Unless you're a fly, of course. Ooh, check out the name of this one. The Destroying Angel. Oh, Amanita verosa. That's the science name of this mushroom. Oh, Amanita verosa. Every time I see one, I get the chills. It's because it's one of the most toxic mushrooms. It can even be deadly. It's sometimes called a destroying angel. To me, it looks like a ghost. Kind of does look like a ghost, doesn't it? And it says, how do you like my little skirt? So this one, don't touch it. Right? All right. As I was saying earlier, there are so many different types of mushrooms. I wish I could tell you all about each one of them, but that would be a very long book. Instead, I'll tell you about the beautiful mushroom names I've come across. Just listen to those names. How poetic. They sound like ingredients for a witch's spell. So I'm going to go through a few of my favorite ones that are listed here. I really like pink disco. Doesn't that sound fun? Bird's nest fungus. Well, we talked about this one earlier, the jack-o'-lantern, how it looked a bit like the chanterelle. Witch's butter. Ooh, there's even one called hat lips. That's fun too. When we come back from our walks, we put our treasures on the table and look in all of our books to try to identify them all. It's so hard. So many of them look alike. So did you enjoy our treasure hunt? If you would like to find more about mushrooms, there are many books about fungi where you will discover wonders I don't even know about. Check them out at your local library, and don't forget to take lots of walks in the woods. Have fun for now. So, here we have some mushroom facts that are really fun to share. In case I still haven't convinced you that mushrooms are cool, there are about 30 species of mushrooms that glow in the dark. And if any of you played Super Mario Brothers, you remember that mushroom that was red and white and speckly? The Super Mario mushroom is also the poisonous fly agaric that we talked about. Mushrooms grow better where lightning has recently struck. This mushroom is called a sulfur shelf, and it grows on trees and tastes almost exactly like fried chicken. In Oregon, there is a mushroom that is 2,400 years old. That's really old. It's mycelium. Remember those little things that go underneath the ground? The underground part of the mushroom covers a surface that's bigger than a soccer field. It's destroying thousands of trees. And mushrooms can be used to make many different things, such as bread, beer, medication, fabric and wool dye, bricks, fake leather, cheese, and much more. And it says, see, we're magic, and they kind of are. So that's the end of our story, but at the end of this book, it's so cool. It shows you how to make your own mushroom, or I should say spore print, in your very own home. So we're going to be doing this in part 2 again. And 3 things, if you would like to try this with us, or later on actually, is a mushroom, some paper, a glass, or a bowl. And we're going to join you for part 2 and show you how to make your own spore print, along with sharing some factoids about mushrooms and the scavenger hunt that we talked about earlier. So join us for part 2 of Pop-Up Nature of Fungus Among Us, and that is our story, The Mushroom Fan Club by Elise Gravel. Thank you so much, and we'll see you for part 2.